Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I would love to hear from you. Any question you might want to ask me, please write me at walkwithtak@gmail.com. I will answer your questions as soon as possible. Chicken is probably the best protein to use for stir frying. And many viewers has asked me in the past, can I provide some tips to stir fry chicken as efficiently and effectively as possible? My first tip is that chicken breast is probably the best part of the chicken to be used for stir frying. In fact, it is the most economical way for stir frying chicken because you can buy chicken breast in what we know as a family pack. And you have several pieces of chicken breast for a very reasonable price. However, the most effective use for using chicken breast for stir frying is to prep them in advance. By advanced prepping, what I mean is that as soon as you bring the chicken breast back from the supermarket, you should cut up all of them. In fact, it's far more efficient to cut them up all at once rather than only cut them up when you need them. And this way, you can freeze them as friendly slices, and you store them in a Ziploc sandwich bag. And when you are ready to use them, they will be all ready for you to cook. And this is a much more efficient way to stir fry chicken. And also this way, you can control the portion of the chicken that you want to stir fry each time. This allow you to use the chicken as a condiment rather than as the main ingredients. And by storing them in the package amount that you need, you can reduce your protein consumption but enhance your vegetable consumption. Still, you will get enough protein and it will not affect the culinary experience that you have. One tip I would like to provide to you in prepping your chicken is to cut the chicken in as thin slices as you possibly can, because the thickness of the slice will determine how long the chicken will be able to cook to the desired texture as well as to the desired temperature. If you cut the chicken into small chunks, it will take longer to cook. However, the size of the slice is not as critical. As long as you cut them into thin slices, you can cut them into various type of sizes. And it has different applications. In some dishes, a bigger slice might give you better culinary experience, as in other dishes, you might need it to be smaller. Pack the chicken into a Ziploc sandwich bag is the way I do it. I put them into a 8-ounce sandwich bag. The important thing is that do not fill the bag, and I will usually fill it to be about 1/3 full, because this way, when you press out the air, and you can spread out the chicken into a single layer. And I will freeze them by laying them down. After they're frozen, I can stand them up. I usually write the date on the flap of the bag. So this way allow me to tell how long I have prepped the chicken. It gives me a sense of how old they are. And when I'm ready to use the chicken, I put them into a bowl of lukewarm water. This will thaw them out in about 10 minutes. Another tip I want to give it to you is that don't leave the chicken any longer after you thaw them out. You should remove them as soon as you have thawed them out and transfer them into a plastic container. Another important tip that I would like to give you is to make sure the chicken is as dry as possible. And if there's moisture in it, first of all, drain any moisture that might be still in the plastic container, and then use a paper towel to block dry the chicken as much as you can. Because any water that's associated with the chicken, when you put it in the wok, it will lower the temperature of the oil, and it will also cause the oil to splatter. And for the same reason, I would never marinate any chicken with any sort of a moisture such as soy sauce or any other type of sauces. Again, because it adds moisture to the chicken. It's for the same argument. When you put the chicken in a wok, it will cause the oil to splatter, as well as it will reduce the temperature of the oil, and that will reduce the efficiency in cooking the chicken. Another way to reduce the moisture in the chicken is by adding some cornstarch. Cornstarch will absorb fluid and make the chicken more dry. And this way, when you add the chicken to the wok, it will reduce the temperature of the oil. And this is a very effective way. And you can enhance the flavor of the chicken by adding other dry seasoning agents, such as my basic seasoning mix, which is a very effective way to enhance the umami flavor of the chicken. If you have not tried that, you should give it a try, and I have a link below the video that you can purchase this seasoning mix from Amazon, and I think you will find it very enjoyable. And then after you mixing all of this, the end result is that now you have the chicken as dry as possible. When you combine these two approaches, cornstarch with seasoning agent, you will have the best of the both worlds. You will reduce the moisture associated with the chicken, therefore it will not reduce the oil temperature when you start to fry the chicken. At the same time, it will enhance the flavor of the chicken by the seasoning agents that you add to it. Now, when you stir-fry chicken, you can also add dry condiments. And in this case, I add some fermented black soybean. It will add flavor to the chicken. In this case, I just want to demonstrate to you the example is that anytime when you fry chicken, the best way during the stir-frying process is to add dry seasoning agents because you want to keep the temperature of the oil as high as possible. At the same time, this will reduce splattering. And also it will reduce the likelihood for the chicken to stick and burn to the surface of the wok. To cook the chicken as quickly as possible, you should stir-fry the chicken rigorously. And as you can see here, I use the wok spatula to separate the chicken from each other because the cornstarch have a tendency to stick together. And I added a little bit more oil just because if I do not have enough oil, the chicken are far more likely to burn and stick to the bottom surface of the wok. I do not start out with a lot of oil because I do not want my dish to be too oily. So I only add additional oil during the cooking process when I feel that I will need more oil. Now you notice that the wok spatula is being used not only to stir the chicken, but it also used as a scraper. If I notice that any of the chicken pieces that stick to the bottom surface of the wok, I use the wok spatula to scrape them off. This is an important tip for you to have because this way will prevent food burning and stick to the bottom surface of the wok. It will keep the cooking process as efficiently as possible. As the final step is that I add some scallion. These are aromatics that use mainly as a garnish. Any aromatic that do not require too much cooking, you can add right at the end. But I will not add aromatics that require more lengthy cooking, such as onion or garlic. They should add much earlier during the cooking process if that is what you would like to include. So in summary, my tips for stir-frying chicken is that you should prep the chicken in advance and cut them into thin slices and store them in the amount that you find it suitable for you to create a dish. Use chicken as a condiment rather than as a main ingredient. And I will freeze them in a thin layer so that you can thaw them out very quickly when you want to cook them. So this will allow you to cook chicken anytime you want. And make sure you dry the chicken before you put them into the wok. You can dry it with a paper towel, or another way to dry it is that to add cornstarch to it. And you can also enhance the chicken, the flavor of the chicken, by adding some seasoning agent together with the cornstarch. And by using these tips, I think you will find your stir-frying chicken far more efficient as well as more flavorful. I hope this will be helpful to you. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system to make your home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. If you want to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.